Hi everyone, good to see you back here on my channel. A couple of weeks ago I asked you what you would like to see on this channel as the next tutorials, for example. And there were a couple of people who said, could you give us some tips or advice, especially when we plan a video that is a little more complex than just maybe a one-shot where I will go from A to B or so. So this video is exactly about that, how to make a plan for your videos. Alright, you are preparing a video, you have some nice idea in your mind, you think about some B-roll you want to shoot, and then you might recognize that this thing, doing a video, is getting complex very quickly. And you have a lot of things in your mind and you think, oh wait a minute, I could do a shot like this, and maybe a colleague or a friend is coming in and he or she is saying, oh, we could also do this. So a bunch of ideas, a bunch of creative things that you can do with video, and it tends to be a very complex matter. And sometimes you totally lose it when you go out and shoot and you think, wait a minute, we could do this and we could do this, and did we do this already? And you get totally confused. So that is nothing unusual. That happens to the most of us, especially when we don't sit down and make a plan before we go out and shoot. So how do we do this in a good way? And my TV teacher, where I learned documentary filmmaking a couple of years ago, he told me a very nice and easy way to kind of collect my ideas beforehand. So here's how I normally do that. I prepared a little Word document, and you might know this feeling when you open it up and you have that blank white page with nothing on it. And you ask yourself, okay, how am I going to write that for a video? Should I do a storyboard? Shall I draw things, or how do I write that down? So it's pretty easy. What I always do, if it is a more complex issue I'm dealing with, I do a table which has 3 columns and a lot of rows. And those 3 columns, I name them. The first column on the left is the time column. And the second column in the middle is basically the most important column. That's for the images or the video content, basically. So what we are going to see in your video later on. And the last column is for additional information, which could be text, of course, could be what you're babbling when you're talking into the camera. Not the exact words, but at least a rough guess of what you plan to say. The good thing about this 3-column document is that it lets you create your movie, or at least an idea of your movie, before you start shooting. Something that shows you the result not only after shooting, but after editing as well. This is really, you really make up your mind, how does this thing look in the very end? What do I want to do with it when I'm done shooting, when I'm going into editing? Okay, here's my draft, here's my plan, and this is how I want that movie to start, and this is how it will go on, and this is how it's going to end. And that is really helpful, because in this simple document you can fill in everything you want. You can, of course, you got that time thing on the left side, but that's not so important in the very beginning. It's just to give you a rough guess how long your scenes will be. But the second column and the boxes in that column, they are very important, because this is where you tell your story and where you fill in what you see when you close your eyes and you think about, how's my movie going to look like? So in my example, I'm writing down some things about another video with my Insta360. And so I make some intersections here and I think about how to set this up. So for example, I start with the talking head in the very beginning, me in front of the camera. After that, a short channel intro, and then I go over to some B-roll, maybe some footage. And you see quickly how this movie will look like in the very beginning and how the story is unfolding. Of course, writing a script takes time and can be a little tough, but in the end, I swear it will save you a lot of time when you're shooting. But I don't want to do this too long here. But make up your mind how you want to end your movie. How do we get out of the story? This is a helpful method to quickly keep your ideas in mind. And of course, the good thing about a digital document is always that you can shift around scenes and that you can always enter more specific information into each box. If you have a specific shot in mind, a specific look, for example, then you could fill in more info into each box, or you can change the boxes whatsoever. That's basically how I make up my mind when I plan a video. That's it. I hope that was helpful for you. Let me know what you think about or what your experiences are when you plan your videos, when you have any questions, of course, when you're unsure about certain things. Feel free to put it in the comments below. And feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're here for the first time. And if you're here for the second time, I hope you will be there for a third and fourth time. And see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.